Hello out there again, YouTube. John back again. Well, we got a ton of Laserdisc pickups here. We've got stuff from Louise Munoz. We've got stuff from a bunch of other guys. You'll all be getting shout-outs, anyone there on the Lasers Forever page. So hopefully you watch this video, you'll hear your name called out. Been a productive last couple weeks. Finally got like my Icons of Horror collection almost complete. You'll be hearing a lot about this, so let's kick it off. First thing we got, my buddy Kevin Michael Stewart over there at Laserdisc Forever, one of my good friends, he hooked me up with a copy of Sling Blade. And I ended up picking this up a couple weeks ago off another seller. Problem was his copy was all rotted. You know, gave him money back, but you know, Kevin said he had a copy for me, so I'm like, okay, cool, finally got it. So I love that movie. You know, probably still Billy Bob Thornton's best movie he ever did. Terrific performances, terrific acting. It's just a great movie. Too bad too many other films overshadowed it that year, because that movie deserved more awards than it got. So next up, now we're going to start with Louise Munoz's stuff. A lot of this is going to be his. So if you saw Sling Blade, had to get the companion piece. Some folks call it a Sling Blade. This is the short film that the movie was based off of. This one was pressed at the DADC. This one has a tiny bit of rot towards the beginning, but it clears up, and you know, it's really unobtrusive or anything, so I can live with that little amount of rot that there is. Next one up, finally got this one on Laserdisc, got bound. And you saw me talk about the Blu-ray that I picked up from Britain. Finally got this one on Laserdisc. Love that movie, great film. Still the Wachowski brothers' best film. I mean, I love The Matrix, don't get me wrong, but this is still the best movie they ever did, so hands down. Next up, we got a Hammer horror double feature. Got Phantom of the Opera, and I want to say it's Paranoiac, but I just bought it because it was a couple bucks, and you know, it's good Universal / Hammer horror. So again, you guys know I'm into that stuff, so had to pick it up. Next one, we got another one of my favorite Abbott and Costello movies. Got Africa Screams. Now the good thing is you'll see about this one, I think you can see it down there, right there in my fingers. This is the digital sound edition. They did release this with analog only, but luckily I got this with the digital sound. This one was actually brand new and sealed, no laser rot. This one, you know, it sucks about this movie. Let me just get break away for a second, talk about Africa Screams. The one thing I've always hated about this movie is the fact that it's in the public domain. So all the DVDs that are out there, everything out there is sourced from a really bad print, and it doesn't all look that great. I don't even know if it's out on Blu-ray. Even if it is, I would never try to seek it out because I don't think it would look that good. You know, that being said, the Laserdisc, I think, was actually sourced from the negative, and in my opinion, it's still the only way to see it because the DVDs look like crap. I used to have a VHS tape of this and it looked okay, but you know, that was back in the day. But that being said, I'm glad I have this on Laserdisc. At least I know this transfer was done from the negative. It even says on the front it's restored from the negative. So I guess this is still the best way to see it. So moving right along. Another movie I picked up now, I've never heard of this one. It's called Triumph of the Spirit. I picked it up because I did a little checking. This one is not on DVD, at least I don't think it is. You know, and it has, you know, some really good actors in it. You know, it has Willem Dafoe, it has Edward James Olmos, it has Robert Loggia. So, you know, and it's, you know, it looks like it could be a boxing movie, and I love boxing movies. So I figured I'll give that one a try, regardless if it's on DVD or not. Now, another one I've been meaning to get for a long time, and I finally picked this one up. I got A Boy and His Dog. Never actually seen this one, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. You know, it's just I'm glad to have this one. Only cost a couple bucks, so I'll be looking forward to giving that one a spin. Now this one, we're not going to talk about this one too much. I picked this one up strictly for my wife. Shakespeare in Love, late release, AC3. Got it for her. She loves this movie. I can't stand it, so moving right along. Next one up, this was brand new and sealed, but I had to break the seal. Frankenstein versus the Wolfman. Again, Universal Horror. Had to pick it up. We got some more. Next couple ones are actually going to be some Universal Horror. We got Dracula's Daughter, Ghost of Frankenstein. This was brand new and sealed. Had to open it up, check it out. Next one I got, now this is an interesting disc. Got The Black Cat and The Raven. One of the few, you know, double feature titles to actually be on one Laserdisc. Reason being it's on one. Both of these movies are actually time compressed. The Raven has very minimal time compressing on it because the movie is only 61 minutes long, so they don't have to compress it too much to fit on a 60-minute side of a Laserdisc. But The Black Cat, you can tell they used time compression on that one. That one was 65 minutes long, and a lot of stuff is pretty sped up. You know, but regardless, that was brand new. and I watched it, and it was pretty good for what it was. It was at least a good way to watch two movies on one Laserdisc. You can't really say that for a lot of movies, so it's actually pretty cool. It's one of them anomalies out there that I'm glad to own. Next one up, now we got the original to one of my top 10 favorite films. Got Paul Muni's Scarface. This movie I actually never saw it until last week. I have the 2-disc steelbook Blu-ray of Scarface, and it actually has the original with it, but I never sat down and watched it, and it took me to get it on Laserdisc to finally see it. But you know what? Very good movie. I can see where Brian De Palma's version, borrowed from it. A lot of elements were borrowed from from the Howard Hawks version to Brian De Palma's version. But that being said, I still enjoyed it an awful lot. So, now I'm glad I say I have it on DVD. This is one of them things I wish would come out on Blu-ray, but, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Picked this one up mainly for my son, the Puppetoon movie. Heard it was pretty good, so I figured I'd give it a try. And one of mine and my son's favorite cartoon series, finally got this one. Got the Wallace and Gromit collection. I love Wallace and Gromit, so this is actually pretty cool. My son was very happy when this came in, so we watched it the first night we got it, and he wants to watch it all the time. So now we're finally getting, I think my Terry Gilliam collection with this one is pretty much complete. And I finally got Baron Munchausen. Never seen it, but again, I've been trying to collect Terry Gilliam stuff, and most of his stuff's on Criterion. So I think the only things I'm missing are like the Monty Python movies, because I think he co-directed The Holy Grail, and then he actually directed Life of Brian. I want to say he did. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me, guys. I'm not a huge Monty Python fan. But anyway, outside of the Monty Python stuff, I think I have almost all of Terry Gilliam's stuff on Laserdisc, save for Jabberwocky. So that's the only one I need to pick up. Next one up, now this is just a replacement for the other one, Day the Earth Stood Still. I love this movie. I've seen it so many times, can't even talk about it. I have the original Laserdisc of this, just the single disc version, but, well, this one is, of course, the double disc edition, so glad I own this one. Very happy to have this one. So, all right, next one up. Underrated David Cronenberg film. Very, very underrated, and that's Crash. Love this movie. Saw it when it came out. I have the DVD. I've seen this movie so many times, and it never gets old. I've been wanting the Laserdisc for a long time just so I could get the commentary, and Louise finally had it. The thing with this one, though, this is a DADC pressing, but luckily, no rot. Absolutely zero frickin' rot whatsoever. So this one escaped from there without any problems. Very happy. Another one up I got. Been wanting to get this one for a while. Enemy Mine. It came out on Blu-ray, but I never wanted to get it on Blu-ray. It's one of the movies I could watch it once or twice and then just never watch it again. So glad I picked it up for a couple bucks on Laserdisc. Another one I've never seen before, Renegades. But again, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips. Who cares? Might like it, might not. A couple bucks, not going to complain. Next one up, we got a little. Me and Louise had to do some pretty good bartering for this one, but glad to have this one. Flesh Gordon. Do not have this on DVD or Blu-ray, but been wanting to get this one on home video for a while. The only complaint I have about this disc, now this disc is flawless, not a scratch, no rot, no nothing. The only complaint I have is that this thing you could tell was shot in a 1:8:5:1 aspect ratio, and when they did this for Laserdisc, they basically took the rectangle image and then just dropped a square on it and just cropped it like from the center onto the rectangle. So you see the rectangle here on the screen. This is all you get to see, and you literally have no information over here. So it's horrible crop job, but it's still good to have on Laserdisc. Last thing I got from Louise, and this has been one of my grails. I've been wanting to get this on Laserdisc for quite some time. That's the Signature Collection version of Psycho. Love Psycho, my favorite Alfred Hitchcock film. Still has the nice documentary on here, but I wanted this just for the audio, just for the original PCM audio, so PCM mono audio. So glad to finally have that. So moving right along. Next one we got seller Bran Petrie. Last Saturday he put this on Lasers Forever, and within 5 minutes I jumped on it, and he said he had a lot of people inquiring. I'm like, no one's inquiring. This is mine. I've been wanting to get this one forever, and it's brand new and sealed. Probably one of the worst movies ever made. Cool as ice. But you know what? I don't care how bad it is. I liked it when I was a kid. I still like it now. I never wanted to buy that stupid MCA Universal MOD DVD because I hate those things. They scare me because you keep hearing the horror stories about how people buy these on-demand discs and they never work. Like certain DVD players will play them, certain ones won't. So I was like, you know what? If I'm getting cool as ice, I'm getting it on Laserdisc. So finally got it. $35. I did not care. That disc was mine. Glad to own it. I'm scared to open it, but I will eventually when I ever want to watch it again. So anyway, next, ended up dealing with a new seller, Greg Loader. Great guy. Ended up sending me a bunch of stuff. Absolutely one of the best disc packers I have ever seen. This guy took so much care into packing these couple of movies that he sent me. It was just ridiculous. But they all arrived safely. This is another one of my grails I've been after for a while. And that's Creepshow, one of my all-time favorite movies. I've seen this movie so many times I could quote it word for word. I have this on, I will tell you how much of a fan I am. I have had this on DVD, I've had it on VHS, I have the Warner Brothers Blu-ray, I have the Second Sight UK Blu-ray, just so I could have all the bonus material, all the documentaries. I have gone through Michael Felsher's Indiegogo campaign, and I have contributed so I could get the documentary self-released that's coming out, I think, in December, and that actually has Scream Greats Volume 1 on there. So anything Creepshow related I'm going to buy. Finally popped up for a pretty decent price, and I finally said, you know what, I'm going to buy Creepshow. So now I just need to get Creepshow too. So anyway, next one we got, another one of the greatest late 80s, early 90s horror films, Tremors. Finally got this one. I've got the whole collection on Blu-ray, but just been wanting to get the signature collection on Laserdisc. Finally got it. Very happy to have that one. Another Universal horror I got from him. I got two from him. Got Bride of Frankenstein. So now the cool thing is I think all my Frankensteins are complete on Laserdisc. So I got them all now. So there we go. Finally got the last one. And I think I got the last Wolfman movie there too. I never had the original Wolfman, so I got that. Very happy to have that one. All right. Now, this other seller, I can't remember his name right now. It escapes me. Pretty nice guy. Actually, his name's Joe. I want to say his name's Joe. Okay, let's just say that for sake of argument. Joe. Really cool guy. Sent me some of these discs. You know, I did some business with him in the past, and really good dude. So, I had to pick up Real Men, John Ritter, James Belushi. Never seen it, but for those two guys, I'll watch it anyway. Probably a good flick. Next up, now this one, unfortunately, is not the Pioneer pressing. This is the DADC pressing of The City of Lost Children. The good thing is, though, even though this is a DADC pressing, it has a little bit of rot. It just very, 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 very minor speckling, and, you know, no audio distortion, no nothing. So, you know, it was $2. So for that amount of rot, I'm not gonna, you know, pitch a fit. This guy sold me two other discs. Sling Blade was one of them, and the other one was Tootsie. Those things were rotted to hell, like unwatchable. Like, we're talking audio distortion. The Laserdisc player would barely even read them, and it looked like you were watching a movie through a snowstorm. This is not bad compared to that in any way, shape, or form. Next one I've got from him, Wolfen, another one of my favorite 80s horror films. Got this one. I actually have the Warner Archive Blu-ray. Now, before you say, now, wait a second, you don't like buying archive stuff. Well, just a little heads up. Warner Archive, when they do their Blu-rays, they actually press those in-house. They don't put them on BDRs or anything like that. So they're actually studio quality Blu-rays. They're nothing like, you know, burn DVDs or anything, or burn Blu-rays. They're studio quality. They're perfectly fine. Glad to have that one on Laserdisc. And last one I picked up from him was Day of the Dolphin. And again, never seen it, but looked pretty decent, so why not? All right. So we are done with all these, with all you Facebook group guys. So any of you watching this, thanks again for all this stuff. Very happy to have it all. So now we are going to be moving along to some Laserdisc database and eBay buys. And, well, now we're going to be with the meat and potatoes of everything, guys. So here we go. First one I got up. Got this from a Laserdisc database member. Got Chud. This is the digital audio edition. This actually is the digital mono. I've always liked this film. Love Chud. You know, I actually have the DVD, but the reason you want to get it on Laserdisc is that this is the original theatrical cut. The one that came out on DVD was recut, re-edited slightly to make more sense, so to speak. And, you know, I actually like that one too, but I wanted the original theatrical cut the way you saw it in 1984, so glad to have that one on Laserdisc. Finally, I'm getting my Pinhead collection complete. I'm waiting on Hellraiser 3 to come in the mail next week. But we'll do Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Best sequel out of all of them. Great film. First one's great. This one is up there, just as good to me, just as good. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now the one that I wish was just as good, but Hellraiser Bloodline. Unfortunately, this was the only one I saw in theaters. I would still love to see the original, Kevin Yeager cut. I know you can get the work print out there, but, the quality is really, really spotty. So, I'll live with this one for now, but one of these days, we were able to get the producer's cut of Halloween 6, so let's just hope we get the producer's cut of Hellraiser Bloodline. That would be great. So, next up. Finally got my Halloween collection complete. So, but unfortunately, we have to start with Halloween 3. Nothing wrong with Halloween 3. I love Halloween 3. Great film as a standalone flick. Problem is, this disc has some rot. This one, side 1 is fairly rotted, watchable, some audio distortion, not as bad as it could be from a disc from this era to where it's unwatchable. But side 2, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with side 2. The seller was really cool. I paid like $30 for this, and, I told him it was rotted, and I was going to send it back. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Just keep it. I'll give you your money back. Don't worry about it. So, and I just now tonight bought another copy that popped up on eBay just recently. So, hopefully that one won't be as rotted or as bad. So, only time will tell. Next one up. Now, these are the awesome part about this one. We got Halloween 4 and Halloween 5. Cool little story about these. These popped up on eBay a couple weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago tonight. Talked to the seller. Turns out he only lived 30 miles away from me. Talked to him. I said, hey, you want to do, you say you want to do 65 by now. How about we do 55 and I'll just meet you by your house, or I'll meet you someplace close by. He messaged me back. To my surprise, he agreed. He said, yeah, I'll bust it down to 55, free shipping, and you can just meet me here tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. Picked him up. Get perfect transaction. Brought the discs home. No rot. Played perfectly fine. Because these are some notorious pressings, but they worked out just fine for me, so that was good. Had another Laserdisc database seller. Got Halloween Curse of Michael Myers. This one was sealed, but broke the seal so I could watch it the other night. Not my favorite Halloween film out of all of them. I want to say, next to Resurrection. Don't like this one, but producer's cut, infinitely better. So, glad to have this one. So, the Halloween collection finally complete. Got all 7 movies that ever came out on Laserdisc, so done, finally. Next one up, we almost got the Freddy collection complete. We'll finish that one out with a little story after that. Got Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. I consider New Nightmare to be a standalone film in the series, so I just count 1 through 6. This is the hands-down best sequel of them all. Love this movie. Frank Darabont, before he did Shawshank Redemption or Green Mile, he did the screenplay for this. You could tell some strands of his DNA are in there. Very good film. Love Dream Warriors. And next one we got up, Freddy's Dead, for not the best sequel. This is probably my second least favorite next to Part 5, but still a fun little movie just on the comedy factor. This actually does have the 3D glasses with it. Picked this one up off Laserdisc database, so got that to complete the collection. And last but not least, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I only treat this as a standalone film. As a standalone film, this is one of Wes Craven's best movies that he ever did. So, phenomenal film. Glad to have the Freddy collection almost complete. Now, I would have been showing you a copy of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, but unfortunately the copy that I did receive in from eBay was rotted completely through and through. Had to send it back to the seller, though. He didn't let me keep it, and I didn't even want it anyway. So, ended up finding another copy from another seller. Paid a little bit more money than I wanted to, but he assures me that it's 100% rot-free and in pristine mint condition. So, we'll see. Hopefully later on when I shoot the next video, I'll be able to show it to you guys. Now, last part of the video. This was probably the best case of serendipitous fortitude that I'll ever come across. There was a seller on eBay last week. Lived out in a town called Plainfield, 40 miles away from me. Was willing to make the drive. We messaged. I said, hey, you got all this stuff in auction. If I win it, can I meet you? And he said, absolutely 100% sure. So I said to myself, I am not losing any of these auctions. These are going to be my movies. He had 5 things for sale. Cool thing was, I ended up winning them all. I had to spend an arm and a leg to win them all, but I won them all. He also had some other discs that we did some side deals on. Ended up picking up 5 other movies from him. So we'll do the 5 that I picked up from him, beforehand. So let's start with, and I got this one for my wife, City of Angels. I like the movie. You know, I'm not a big Nicolas Cage fan, but this is one of his better films. Again, strictly got this for my wife. She loves this film. Had to get this one of my all-time favorite 80s movies, Gremlins. Widescreen. Haven't gotten a chance to watch this one yet. Haven't checked it for rot, but I really don't care if it's rotted or not. So, anyway. Finally got another one of my top 10. This is probably my number 4 favorite movie of all time. And that would be Clockwork Orange. Finally got this one on Laserdisc. You know, glad he had this one for sale. Another one that I'm glad that he had. Dead Alive. Been wanting to get this one on Laserdisc for a while. I've got the Blu-ray. I actually bought the Blu-ray day it came out, before it went out. I didn't buy that thing after it went out of print. I bought that before it went out of print. I was very happy to have that one. So, glad to have this one on Laserdisc finally. And last one that we did a side deal on was American Werewolf in London. Glad to finally have this one on Laserdisc. One of my, pretty much my favorite werewolf film. The Howling is number 2 compared to this one. The sequel, though, better. The less said, the better. So, anyway, now we're into the good stuff. This is all the stuff I won in auction. So, this one ended up running me about $8, and I couldn't believe this one only went to $8, but 25th anniversary edition of The Exorcist. The scariest film ever made. Don't let anybody ever tell you different. This is the one movie that'll still scare the shit out of me. I don't care. This movie scares the shit out of me. Still does to this day. I love this film. I've got it on Blu-ray. I have none of the sequels. The sequels pale in comparison to this film. The third one's pretty good, but the other ones I could care less about. Finally glad to have this one on Laserdisc. Been wanting it for a while. Another one. Now this one ended up running me, I want to say, let's round up and say $17. This is Maniac. Had to get this one. I love this film. I've got this one on, I got the 2-disc Blu-ray of this. I had the DVD, but once I got the Blu-ray, I didn't need the DVD anymore. But been wanting to get this one for a while. Great film. I've always loved the effects work, and Joe Spinell, before, he passed away, this was like just a great film for him to do. So, great film. Glad I finally have this one. This one, let's just say, this one ran me $17 as well. We got Day of the Dead. Very underrated in Romero's canon. It's, I love this film. I've always loved this film. Dare I say it? It's not dare I say it. I'm just going to frickin' say it. This is actually, the pinnacle of 80s practical effects right here. I mean, everything in this film is so realistic. It's not even funny how realistic it is. The thing is, there is only one mistake, like, with the effects work in this whole entire movie, and it's a barely visible mistake, but it's there. There's a scene where a zombie's getting, shot multiple times, and you can actually see the tube running down his leg. But that's the only effects error that you can catch. Other than that, nothing here looks fake. Everything here looks absolutely real. This is possibly the best, like I said, this is the best practical effects film of the 1980s. Maybe not the best story, but watch this one strictly for the special effects. Great special effects. So, next up, best one that I got. I couldn't believe that this one was the one that cost me the most. And that was Nightmare on Elm Street, 2-disc special edition. We've already talked about Nightmare on Elm Street, but you're going to see this one in the video. The seller, I don't know if he knew about this or not, but I'll try to get it in there for you. If you guys can make that out, that is actually signed by Heather Langenkamp. So, pick me up a signed copy of Nightmare on Elm Street for $67. I'm not going to complain. So, very glad to have this one. Like I said, with this, after I get part 4 in, Freddy's complete. So there we go. And last but not least, Dawn of the Dead CAV edition. Best zombie one of them all. The best dead movie of them all. Night of the Living Dead's my second favorite. This one's my favorite. Always will be. Watched it today. Still a great movie. This one, $45 this one cost me. But at the end of the day, money well spent. Before we sign off, we only had one Blu-ray pickup this week, just one. I'm spending so much time devoted to Laserdiscs here, I keep forgetting about buying Blu-rays, but luckily the day I picked up those Blu-rays in Plainfield, I stopped over at a store called Disc Replay in Joliet, and got lucky, and found this little guy, Willow. Guess what? You can make that out. $5.99, best price you'll ever find on this one. For those of you that don't know, Willow actually just went out of print. maybe not even a month or two ago. You know, I just found out about it recently, and I've been slacking, so I'm like, wow, I need to start getting back into Blu-rays again because I'm starting to slack here. After I found out it went out of print, I immediately went on Amazon UK. I ordered the Steelbook because it was only like $13, and got lucky. I wasn't even looking for this, and I just found it there at Disc Reap. I'm like, wow, this has the slipcover and everything. I'm like, $5.99? Okay, I'm buying this one. So now I'm gonna have a Steelbook. Now I got the regular edition, so I'm happy with that. So anyway, time to sign off. Been a fun video. Hope you guys enjoyed all the cool stuff I got. Talk to you next time. We'll see when the new discs come in. Probably give it another week or two. We'll have another video shooting. So until next time, talk to you later, guys. Keep it spinning. Bye-bye.